Chapter 16. Oh my god, this is torture, Cinder groaned. George and the others had announced that Cinder, Spyro, Flame, and Ember would remain indoors for a week due to certain lunar changes that may affect their training. Fortune had revealed to them the nature of Moonsight and why Flame had behaved the way he did a couple days before. But having to spend every day indoors was almost too much. The only time she saw Spyro was at mealtimes. She wanted to send private notes, but it wasn't easy when she couldn't write herself. Cinder rolled over several times before giving up and trying to sit still. She paced around the room like a counting each cycle to keep her mind occupied. She wanted desperately to be with Spyro, to have someone to talk to have someone to hold her close. As she paced, Cinder's mind wandered to places it usually didn't venture when think about Spyro. At last, she stopped and stared out at the sky beyond her balcony. The night sky had a slight purple tint to it. Just looking at it made her think of Spyro. Cinder flopped down on her pillow pile and stared out at the balcony. She rolled her to her back and sprawled out across the cushions. Her mind settled at last, and before long she fell asleep. The black dragoness awoke several hours later. She slowly opened her eyes to see the moonlight shining into her eyes. The moon had moved so that she now had a clear view of them beyond the balcony. Cinder's mouth hung over for a moment, then she gasped. Her heart began to beat faster, and her eyes began to go bright as lanterns. She rolled off her cushions and walked to the doorway, panting heavily. She had to see him. She had to go see Spyro. Now. Cinder walked to the darkest corner of her room and disappeared into the shadows. Ember yawned loudly. She sat up and rubbed her eyes before getting off her bed. Her stomach growled loudly and she staggered a couple steps. She had been sleeping all day and now her body was telling her it was far past her usual time to eat. Ember walked out the room with her wing, providing a barrier between her eyes and the moon's. She hadn't been as restless as Cinder due to his clever trick. She had been able to go about the castle grounds just fine as long as she didn't make eye contact with the moons. The kitchen was almost empty except for the few moles taking time to eat before going on or off of guard duty. Surprised to see the dragon at such a late hour, the chef fixed Ember a quick helping of leftover lamb cooked with chili spices. The dragon thanked him kindly after she had gorged herself. On her way back to her room, she paused. I wonder if Spyro's doing okay. She pondered aloud and changed her course. Spyro, a voice whispered. The purple dragon's eyelids twitched. Spyro, wake up. Huh? Spyro blinked a couple times. When his vision focused, he saw a dark figure standing in his doorway. Spyro's heart nearly stopped. Who are you? He gasped. Oh, come on, Spyro. Stop playing. It's just me. Cinder said and entered his room. Cinder? I didn't recognize you for a second. Satisfied with relief. But something about Cinder was different. She looked the same except for her eyes that shone like teal orbs in the darkness. What are you doing up so late? I just wanted to see you. I haven't been able to spend time with you at all these past few days. Do you really think it's safe for you to be out and about with everything Fortier told us? Cinder walked up to Spyro and pressed her chest against his. I think we'll be okay, she whispered. She continued to move closer to Spyro, who was forced to back up a little. Besides, I know you'll always be there for me. And I'll always be there for you. She leaned in and opened her mouth slightly. Her tongue slid out and brushed Spyro's lips. Cinder? Spyro jerked back, surprised by her actions. Are you... I'm fine, Spyro. Cinder gazed at him. I'm fine because... She leaned in closer and Spyro tripped over one of his cushions and fell on his back. Cinder walked over and leaned down. Have you, Spyro? Cinder, this isn't like you. Spyro stammered. He loved Cinder, but this wasn't what he was used to. Of course it's me, Spyro. Cinder whispered in his ear. She placed herself directly over him, making it impossible to get away. I've always wanted you. From the day we became friends, I've wanted to be with you. But... Cinder... Spyro was cut short as Cinder pressed her lips up against his and lustful kiss. Spyro's eyes went wide. Cinder's tongue was inside his mouth, nearly touched the back of his throat. When she finally broke away, she smiled down at him. Did you like it? She gave him the deep, luscious gaze that brought herself closer to him. Spyro was speechless. Cinder smiled to coat Spyro's neck in her mouth. The pearl dragon gasped and his eyes grew wide as Cinder worked her lips and teeth on his neck. When she released his neck from her jaws, she brought her head down to his belly and let her tongue glide up to his chin. A tremor ripped through Spyro's body. This wasn't the Cinder he knew, but there was a part of him that didn't want her to stop. I love you, Spyro, Cinder whispered. Cinder, Spyro started, but Cinder's lips interrupted again. When she stopped, both drugs were feeling very warm and panting heavily. That's when Spark glanced out across his back and saw the moons. His eyes grew wide as he came to understand the situation. Cinder, this isn't the real you, he protested, still trying to catch his breath. It's the moons. They're doing this to you. But I want to, Spyro. Cinder breathed heavily. I love you. I want you to be with me forever. She slid her thick underbelly slide against his as she nipped at his neck again. But Cinder, shh. Cinder hissed and pressed her paw over his mouth. You talk too much. Hey! Both dragons turned to see Ember in her doorway. What the hell is going on? Her eyes locked on Cinder. Ember, I think it's the moons. Spyro guessed. They're affecting Cinder. Without missing a beat, Ember opened her mouth and charged up a fireball. Then it burned a hot white and Spyro had to look away. Ember had the fireball between her jaws and withdrew the engine from it. Spyro opened his eyes and looked up at Cinder. She was crying with tears streaming down her cheeks and plummeting to his face and chest. Cinder. The black dragon has moved off of him, hung her head in shame. I'm sorry, Spyro, she whispered. Then with that one, she pulled for the balcony. I'm so sorry, she sobbed as she spread her wings and took off over the city. Cinder, wait, Spyro yelled and chased after her. Ember found herself standing alone in Spyro's room, dumbstruck at what had just happened. Cinder cried as she flew over the castle walls. She could hardly believe what had just happened. If it hadn't been for Ember's stimulation, she would have done something that shouldn't have happened. Cinder! The black dragoness looked back to see Spyro chasing after her, beating his wings as fast as he could. Stay away from me, she wailed. Cinder, wait! Spyro's songs hurt as he tried to catch up with her. Just leave me alone, Spyro. Cinder banked to the side to try and live in the trees. Cinder, stop! Spyro pleaded, doing his best to keep up with her. The trees made it extremely difficult to follow her, especially at night. Suddenly, Cinder burst out of the trees and gained a little ground on Spyro. Spyro saw that she was getting farther ahead of him. Damn it! He cursed on his heavy breathing. If she got away from him now, he feared he would lose her forever. Just before Cinder could make a break for the mountains, Spyro fired an earth bullet in front of her. A boulder burst on the ground, blocking her path. Cinder was shrieking in surprise and reversed her flapping to keep from smashing through the rock. A split second later, Spyro summed into her from behind. The two dragons rolled over each other before Spyro managed to tackle Cinder to the ground. Let go of me! Cinder screamed, her eyes shut tight, trying to hide her tears. No! Spyro snapped. I'm not gonna let you go. I'm not ever gonna let you go, Cinder. Get off me, Spyro! Cinder shouted furiously. Just leave me alone. I'm not gonna let you go, Cinder. I don't want to lose you. What does it matter? Cinder sobbed. She refused to look him in the eye. How could she, after what she had just done? It does matter. Because I love you too much to let you just go away like that, Cinder. Cinder's eyes snapped open. Slowly she turned her head to look up at Spyro. The purple dragon had his head bowed and tears were streaming down his cheeks too. He looked at her and shook his head pleadingly. Please don't go. Spyro? Spyro could feel more tears coming. You said so yourself. I'll always be there for you, and you for me. But if you go, then who will be there with me? How can you say that? Cinder bawled. After what I just did. I nearly did. That wasn't you. That's not the Cinder I know. Spyro shook her to try and get the message to her head. But how do you know it wasn't me? She demanded. What if it was? Spyro paused, not sure what it is. Hey. Cinder bit her low but continued to cry. Spyro got up and offered and allowed her to get up. The dragons rolled into her stomach and continued crying. Spyro looked up at the moons. They were still brightly red-colored, but he didn't feel anything different about himself. At last, Spyro broke the silence. Was that you back there, Cinder? Cinder stopped crying long enough to shake her head. I thought so. Spyro nodded. How? Cinder looked up at him. The moonlight made his purple skull shine a beautiful red violet. She noticed a scratch on his cheek, probably from what they were telling me out the air before he landed on her. Because I know you, Spyro said. I can't explain it. I've never been good at telling people anything. You know that. A smart tug in his mouth. Spyro, she felt she flushed. I really do love you. With all my heart and soul. Cinder's eyes went as she was cut off. Spyro pressed his lips against hers in a passionate kiss. Her tears were still running down the sides of her face and down her neck. I love you, Spyro, she sobbed in her mind. Ember watched from the cover of the trees as the two dragons remained locked in their kiss beneath the two moons. She wanted to make sure they would be okay, but this was more than she bargained for. When she couldn't stand watching anymore, Ember slid back into the forest. No one would ever see the tear that she shed across the forest floor.